Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me for another episode of Diecast Emporium. As you have just seen from the thumbnail that caused you to click on this video, this is going to be just a very simple, lighthearted video of unboxing probably 15 or so Hot Wheels that I have picked up, basic Hot Wheels that I've picked up over the past several months of 2022. I don't collect everything when it comes to Hot Wheels, just the stuff that I like. So I figured it'd be fun to film a video opening them, since I open them anyway. And if you guys like this kind of thing, we'll do more of them in the future, so let me know down in the comment section below. And if you have any questions, also leave them down in the comment section below. Also, before we get started, if you're wondering why there's that blue thing on the spin table, when you're dealing with Matchbox or Hot Wheels and you have a spin table with a smooth surface, obviously the plastic wheels tend to roll off. So we had to kind of jimmy rig a solution so that the vehicles aren't constantly rolling off as we're trying to talk about them. So there you go. So this one is actually a 2021 release. This is the Toyota Land Cruiser. I really, really like this thing. For a $1 basic model, it actually has a lot of detail on it. You can see Toyota in the taillights in the back. It has some detail at the front as well. It's simple, but it works. And I like the oversized tires too. And it even has white up on top of the roof. You can probably see that too. Not a lot of detail in the bed, but I think, at least for me, this was one of the top 5 new models for 2021. So wanted to start out with one of those. Okay, sticking with the Hot Wheels Hot Truck series, I believe this is actually for 2022. I think it's called Ren and Rig, something like that. But here's the card art. That's what it looks like. Number 26 on it, so let's just get this thing open. I don't think too many of us care about the card art for these basic vehicles. So yeah, this has a copyright date of actually 2010, so this is probably not a new model, but it's new to me. I've never seen this one before. Copyright 2010 Mattel. So to me, this screams European Super Truck Racing League. So in Europe, they have a actual FIA-sponsored racing series that races semi-truck cabs, and I think that's what this model took a lot of inspiration from. Obviously, this big plastic motor is a little bit oversized and not realistic, but if you look up on YouTube, it's actually one of the most exciting racing series that you can watch in the world. So if you're into trucks and you like racing, I would encourage you to look up the European Racing Truck series. As for this basic model, I do like the color orange. It's very attractive, obviously. It stands out. Decos are basic. It does have 2 different style wheels, which I really think is a good idea for Hot Wheels to do. It gives the appearance that there's different types of wheels on each axle, like on real trucks in the real world. They do appear to be the same size. They're just different style wheels. But it is a neat-looking vehicle. All right. We'll let that spin around a couple more times while we're opening the next one to take a look at. This is also, all of these I think going on are going to be 2022, so just bear that in mind. This is the 2019 Mercedes-Benz A-Class from the Hot Wheels hatchback series from this year. I think this is the second color for this. First one might have been baby blue or sky blue. So this one is yellow with a single black racing stripe going down the left side of the vehicle. You know me and Mercedes. I am a huge fan of anything Mercedes related, and this little hot hatch is no exception. Taillights at the rear, headlights at the front, even a license plate and a small Mercedes-Benz logo also located at the rear. You have the windshield and the sunroof basically as one clear insert piece. And then you can see, obviously, it has the Euro-style license plate at the front as well. Plastic wheels have the yellow outline, which matches the car. So, again, good choice. I think that looks good. And the license plate reads Hot Wheels. What does this say? Hot Wheels M8. Got to bring it closer. Hot Wheels MB021. So, Hot Wheels Matchbox 021, I'm assuming. But there you go. All right, on with the next one. We're going to go through this because, like I said, we probably have about 15 of these to do. From Hot Wheels Metro, number 6 of 10, this is the Dodge van. This is not, obviously, the Super Treasure Hunt version, but this was a Super Treasure Hunt for one of the cases earlier this year. This is just the basic version. I'm not sure what van exactly this is based off of, like what the Dodge designation was. But as far as the decos on here, this thing is cool. And I believe they used this as the drift van from last year. They decked this out in drift van colors. But there is a ton of detail inside this. I'm going to try and bring this closer. Hopefully it'll pick it up on camera. Inside, there is a go-kart along with some other accessories. Clearly, you can see the go-kart there. Obviously, a driver and a passenger seat. Put it back on the table. We will see the licensed decos that are on it, including Hoosier, which is a tire and rubber company, Bell Helmets, Castrol Oil, Dodge, and then obviously the Hot Wheels logo, with the main decal being Hot Wheels Kart Company, Service and Parts. So I anticipate this one being a very popular basic range model. And the purple doesn't look too bad either. So that's the Dodge van. Next one, from Retro Racers, number 1 of 10. I also think that this is a recolor too. 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth. Part of Rio's Rides. We all know that. So the Sierra Cosworth was a very popular touring car in Europe. So nice to see that they made a model of it here. Hot Wheels up on top, number 11. Ford on the back, right behind the rear wheels. You do have a rather large spoiler on the back. And I think you do have some licensed sponsors on there as well. PIAA, Blistine. I can't make out what the other ones are. But when you're doing a race car, you got to have some real sponsors. So it's nice to see that they are doing that. Obviously, Mattel on the hood, number 11. Not entirely sure what the significance is of number 11, but obviously it means something. Next up, also from Hot Wheels Metro, which is what the van was from. Also, another one of Rio's Rides. This is the Mighty K in white. This is also a new model for 2022. I think the recolor of this is just hitting stores now. It's pink or purple. I personally like this version the best. So here it is. This thing is tiny, by the way. So here's the Cosworth next to it. You get a scale reference. Just a little mini Japanese-style truck. In the back, you have a skateboard, a spare tire, Asada, what does this say? Asada Tire Shop. So, pretty cool that they're still using Rio's namesake on vehicles. I hope that continues for a long time to come. And what side drive is this? So this is right-hand drive. Cool. Okay, next up. I actually have both versions of these to show you, so I'll show it to you back to back. Number 1 of 10 from Hot Wheels Turbo this year. This is the Porsche 935. Again, another very famous vehicle and famous race car. This is the first version in red. Let's get it open. So when this came out, I didn't really think they could top it because the red with the yellow striping on it, I thought looked awesome. And it has a Porsche badge on the hood. The back diffuser elements were all casted in and looked great with the 2 tiny exhausts. And then, very recently, they came out with the second version, still number 1 of 10s because it's just a color variation, but in black. Check that out. So let's put them both on the table at the same time, compare and contrast. The black version has gold stripes, whereas the red version has bright yellow stripes. And this black version, in my humble opinion, completely puts the red one to shame. So we'll put both of them up at the same time. These are left-hand drive vehicles, so the steering wheel is on the left-hand side. There's a casted-in roof escape hatch right here that you can see, so that the driver could pop out of the roof if need be in an emergency situation. And there's a little bit of roll cage detail as well in the back window. You can see those cross member bars as well. So that's the Porsche. All right, maybe one that's been more popular with the kids than necessarily us adult collectors. I don't know. Maybe a bunch of you guys like this. This is the Mario Kart from, obviously, Mario Kart, called the Standard Kart from Hot Wheels Screen Time, number 1 of 10. I remember playing this on N64, Nintendo 64, with a couple friends of mine who were neighbors at the time, and they were obsessed with this game. I was one of those strange kids that didn't care for Mario Kart too terribly much because it wasn't really... You didn't get to use real cars. So, we're talking N64 days. I kind of preferred the Cruisin' USA series because at least you were using real vehicles. But anyway, Mario Kart is still exceptionally popular. I think there's even a lot of adults that have Mario Kart parties even to this day. But here is the Hot Wheels version, so it has M on the front, 2 very large exhausts that exit at the rear of the go-kart. And I'm assuming that you could probably put a little mini figure on here if you wanted to, maybe a Lego figure behind the wheel. It looks like it certainly would be large enough if that's something that floats your boat, and that's something that you might want to do. All right, we're down to our last half dozen. Number 3 of 10 in the Hot Wheels Turbo series, the 2016 Cadillac Ats Slash Vr. You guys feel a theme here? Another race car. This one in a candy apple red color. So this has number 2 on it, Cadillac GT and Cadillac right at the bottom portion of the wide body kit, or the skirt, if you will. Both are technically correct. Once again, a large wing for aerodynamic purposes. A black diffuser at the bottom. Like the choice of gray wheels that were chosen for this, and I really like the large gray splitter that you can see on the front right here. So cool looking GT style touring car that you would see maybe participating in the American Le Mans series, for example. Endurance type race events. Okay, next up, one for the JDM fans from Hot Wheels J Imports. How appropriate, number 2 of 10. The Custom 01 Acura Integra GSR. This is a very sweet car. 2001 was pretty much the year for the import tuner scene, at least here in the States. That is the year that the first Fast and Furious film hit theaters. And that same year, a little bit earlier before the movie, there was an article published in one of the major magazines about the import tuner scene, and it really just exploded and took off from there. And this was one of the first most desired cars that most young drivers could afford at the time, and it was easy to obtain performance parts and body modification parts. So it's nice to see that that Hot Wheels made a model for it, because I know a lot of people are going to go back 21 years and relive this time period in history. And if you were a car fan, specifically in Southern California, where the epicenter of this car culture broke out, it was a cool time to be alive. Back to the car. Acura logo on the back. Once again, we have a plethora of sponsors on the door. I will attempt to zoom in on that so you can see them a little bit better. We have, here we go. We have HSK, Rays, AEM, and Nitro. Again, those are all aftermarket performance parts brands, which again work and make sense on a vehicle like this. This is left-hand drive. Honestly, you could make this in right-hand drive too. And a spoiler on the back. But really what sets this particular piece off is the color that they chose for it. This green pearlescent metallic flake paint just looks really good on this, which is really what attracted me to pick this one up and add it to my collection. Okay, from the import tuner scene and affordable vehicles, at least back in the day, to a lot of people's dream vehicle. This is the Alfa Romeo BC Competizione, I believe is how you pronounce that. Number 7 of 10, Factory Fresh series. Let's get it open. If you have never had the opportunity to visit an Alfa dealership and test drive an Alfa, you are missing out. There's just something about driving an Alfa. It's pretty difficult to explain. Yes, it may break down on you maybe a million times during your ownership of having the car, but it's just something else about driving an Alfa that just nothing else compares to it. Here's the car, headlights, Alfa front end, which you can tell any Alfa from a mile away. They have that very distinctive front end, much like BMWs. And back of it obviously has the taillights painted in, and the Alfa Romeo logo on the back. This has a very similar color to the Cadillac race car that we took a look at. It might be slightly lighter, but as you can see, the red is very, very similar. Not sure I would have gone with these flower-type wheels. That's what I call them. Not sure what the technical terminology is. But I've always despised that type of wheel. I don't think it looks particularly realistic, and it really detracts from the overall profile of the car. All right, let's get into the last three. We're at 15 minutes here, so I've tried to do this as quickly as I can while still allowing you to check out each one of these cars and hear my thoughts on them. Here's another one of my favorites from childhood. I believe this was a first edition in 2001. Not sure it's been used a tremendous amount recently, so it's nice to see it back. Part of the Hot Wheels Hot Trucks. This is La Troca in gold. Let's crack it open. So again, little personal connection. Back in 2001, I would have been in 5th grade, and I used to get the Hot Wheels poster. So back in those days, if you collected enough proof of purchases from basic Hot Wheels, you'd cut these out, you'd send it in the mail with, I think it was like $5 to cover postage, and then Mattel would send you the Hot Wheels poster for the year, so you get to see all the models that were coming out. Yes, we had internet back in those days, but obviously you always wanted just to get the physical poster to see everything that was coming out. And when I saw that this was going to be a first edition for 2001, that was one of my top 5 models. And I still have the first edition purple somewhere. It's probably in my storage unit. And I love this truck. It has the California lowrider look to it, the customized look to it. In gold, obviously, with the custom paint. Here's a little bit of brown in the back. But this truck in particular has always stayed true to form. They really haven't modified it hardly at all. It's always had this aggressive custom lowrider look to it. And for the most part, it's always had this metal grille. I should say the metal truck and the plastic grille. So it's always been a very desirable vehicle. All right, next to another very famous race car. From the Retro Racer series, number 4 of 10, the 1967 Ford GT40 Mark IV. This is what brought down Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So much so, in fact, that they ended up outlawing this car from competition, which is complete BS, but whatever. And, yeah, so if you guys have either done research or you're an endurance race car fan, you know this story, or even if you've seen the Ford versus Ferrari movie, which is not entirely accurate at all, but it's a decent representation of what kind of sort of happened. You are familiar with the story of the 24-hour race and the Ford versus Ferrari competition that existed in the 1960s and up to the mid-1960s to the late 1960s. This was the car that, again, ended Ferrari's reign at the top of that 24-hour endurance race in France. This one is in the recognizable colors of Gulf Oil, so the light blue with the orange stripe that everybody knows and loves. And this car was actually built by a joint venture between Americans and British personnel. So, quite a cool vehicle. I encourage you to look up the history behind it if you consider yourself an automotive or a racing enthusiast and you may not know the full story behind the GT40. It is certainly worth looking up. And we'll end today's video with the last one. This is the Aston Martin Valhalla concept from Hot Wheels Screen Time. This is the new Aston that was seen in the latest James Bond film, No Time to Die. Honestly, of all the James Bond Aston Martins, this is probably my least favorite. It's too supercar-y, even for James Bond, and the amount of film or screen time that's actually shown in this movie for this car, it just isn't enough. It's not very good. Honestly, you get more of the car from Skyfall, the original Aston Martin. What is it, the DB5, DB7, whatever it is, than you do of this one. But, of course, since there's a new Bond movie out, they have to have the new Aston. This is the basic version, obviously, but this is also offered in the car culture line, the $6, $7 line cars with full diecast, full metal chassis, full body, and rubber tires. But for the dollar basic range, it's not terrible. It does have the lights. It does have the Aston Martin logo. It is left-hand drive on this one. There's the large diffuser on the back. You can see the lights here, which actually came out great. And there would be an additional light bar back here, but I guess they couldn't do that. So that will conclude this video. Thank you all so very much for watching. Again, most importantly, for those that have watched this thing all 20 minutes through, please let me know if you'd like to see more of this specific type of video in the future. I know I'd certainly like to do at least a couple more. But it's all that matters is if you guys are going to watch it and if you enjoy it, so let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take care, be well. I'll see you in the next review.